It's your girl, Raw Truth and Uncut. I'm coming to you today to just begin to talk to some of you. Uh, I don't know exactly who this is for, but let me just say to you, and I will specifically point out it is for some man. I want to tell you today that you have to begin to search and check your surroundings because there are some family members that have uh, been to the psychic or the soothsayer or the witch doctor, whatever you want to call them. You know who they are, those that labor among you, professing to live saved but living worldly, and they have begun to take you off course, begin to take you off track, begin to take you off focus. Everybody had an agenda for you except for you. Everybody had an agenda for you to meet someone except for who God has ordained and chosen for you to meet. Let me say to you today, my brother, you begin to take a step back and begin to observe your surroundings more closely, even the concubine and the Delilah spirit that you're involved and entangled with. Hey, God, let me say to you today, my brother, you have walked into a snare. You have walked into a trap of the enemy where this cousin has orchestrated for you to meet someone, and you fell in the trap, and this woman is involved, and the same person that the cousins is involved with. Let me just make that plain here. Let me just say to you, the same woman that you're dealing with is the friend to the cousin, and that the cousin and the friend both went to the soothsayer. You're thinking and seeing and hearing them talk one way, but their actions are showing another. Let me say to you, you are being forewarned on today. Get out of your own way, because this woman has been sent to hinder you from your God ordained spouse. This woman has been sent to you like a slithering snake for you not to connect to your God ordained assignment. You know who it is. You don't have to wrestle with it. There has been some inklings, but yet and still, those spirits have their claws into your flesh. And because you have become one in the entanglement and the entwinement of this woman, you are in a backslidden state. And it's going to take God to get you out of this one, because you knew the right thing to do, but you chose the wrong thing and the wrong way to take. Let me say to you, within the next 24 to 72 hours, if you don't begin to back away, things will begin to spiral and transpire even more than what they are. You will begin to see this woman for who she really is. You only see the kind part. You only see the good part. You haven't seen the real nature of this woman. And I'm hearing the Holy Ghost say that this woman is still married. And I'm hearing the Holy Ghost say that there is going to be some ruckus if you don't begin to pull out now. God said warning come before destruction, and destruction just before a fall. I don't know where you are at this moment. Don't know if you're in the harlot's bed. Don't know if you're in your own bed, but you've been wrestling with everything that's around you that's been going on. You're so uneasy. Why? Because God is trying to pull you out of the clutches and the crevices of the enemy. But you won't move. You're still appeasing your flesh. You're still appeasing the appetite of your flesh. You're still appeasing the appetite of your bad behaviors, of your deviant behaviors. God said, for no man can serve two masters. You will love one and hate the other. Begin to move out of your own way, because you don't want the wrath of God to become your portion in this hour and in this season. Begin to be mindful of that which you are connecting to. There's still some residue from the last woman that you dealt with first. There is still some residue and some attachments that you are clinging on to. You are using this woman to get over that woman, and you're study digging in deeper. You're begin to dig deep into your flesh and the things that you want out of a marriage. You won't find it in neither one of those women. God has the woman for you that you need, and then God will allow you to choose the woman that you want to appease where you are now. It's your choice to hear God today. Get out of your own way, my friend. This is not worth you losing your soul and going to hell. No sex is worth you going to hell, because that's what it was. Feeling the appetite and the desires of the sexual pleasures that you have entwined and entangled yourself into. And you have become to the point and the place where you have a worldly mindset. And you're still trying to be spiritual, but you can't mix what don't measure. You can't mix darkness with light and light with darkness. It doesn't add up, and it's not going to become balanced. You must get out of your own way and allow God to be God in this hour and in this season of your life. Sir, I beg to differ with you today. It doesn't matter how you get up in the morning time trying to read, trying to begin to seek the face of God, when your intent is to continue to appease and please your flesh with these women. You have to begin to locate you in this hour and in this season of your life, that you may get the fullness of God financially, socially, psychologically, and physically, and spiritually. You must begin to divorce your flesh and feed your spirit. Marinate in the spirit, that you won't fulfill the lust of your flesh in this hour and in this season. I'm saying to you today, my friend, hear the Spirit of God on today. God trying to save you from a heartbreak. God trying to save you from some pain. I don't know exactly what it is, but I just know that God trying to give you warning before destruction. So begin to move out of your own way and begin to get out of the way of the sinner, and allow those women to find God. It was never meant for you to attach to the second one, but because you have opened the door previously to that which you had partaken in behind closed doors from one state to the next, that spirit is tagging along with you. So deliverance needs to take place. You need to begin to get out of your own way so God can begin to deliver you from yourself and deliver you from the spirit of lust and perversion. Let me say to you, this cousin that you dealt with, and you're now dealing with the friend, sick this woman on you so that you wouldn't marry or connect with the woman of God that God has for you. The enemy used her to send her as a distraction. The enemy used your cousin to connect you and this woman together as a distraction, and you fell right in there. This is why all the trips of coming to your city, your now city, to get her taken to the city where you resided when you first relocated from one state to the next. Let me say to you today, my brother, if you don't begin to get out of your own way, you will see the wrath of God move, because you're causing people to stumble. You're causing people to be stagnated. You're causing people to fall by the wayside. And you have to put on a certain mask when certain ones come around, and they acknowledge you as that minister. They acknowledge you as that pastor. They acknowledge you as that preacher. They acknowledge you as that saved one, not knowing what you're doing behind closed doors, and you're going along with it as if everything is okay. You're going along with it as if you're in right standing. You're going along with it as if you aren't in the sheets. You're going along with it as if you not being sexually active. Let me say to you today, my friend, come from among the den of thieves. Sometimes we have to see people for who they are when God show them to us. Even though we don't want to see who they are, we have to believe what we're seeing, because everything ain't the enemy. God is showing us some things for us to get out of our own way. God is showing us some things for us to separate from these people that we want to stay encountered to. And just let me tell you, for the last thing but not least thing of all of this, your name was taken to this psychic in the city that you now reside in. This is a confirmation to you, my friend. And let me say to you, your name is on the dark arts altar of that woman. Because before you ever landed with this woman that you're dealing with now, this cousin's friend, this cousin's best friend, let me tell you, sir, your name was already going there. Your name was already being mentioned, because they knew what God had for you, and they wanted to stop and block it, because of the flesh didn't want you to encounter who God has for you or had for you. Let me say to you, you must be alert, you must be attentive, and you must be aware of those that's out in the next city, because the enemy has used them to set a trap for you. And it's up to you to want to come out of that trap. It's up to you to want to come out of the clutches and the crevices of the enemy, where your name has been taken to this psychic, where your name has been taken for a curse to be worked on you, for you not to move forward, for you not to begin to progress, for you not to obey God into the fullness that He has for you. You have been blocked, stopped, and dropped. You have been blocked, stopped, and dropped, sir. Because the enemy knows what God has for you. This is why you're moving on a cycle of sameness, from city to city, from state to state. Begin to get out of your own way today, my friend. It's not worth it. It will be much easier for you to take a wife than you to begin to sleep around, when all the enemy wants you to do is appease the flesh. God have great things in store for you. And let this be a friendly reminder to you. Let this marinate. Divorce the flesh and marinate in the Spirit. Be blessed until next time, my friend. This have been yours truly, Raw Truth and Uncut.